Alright, so I was looking through my 7mm SAUM videos that I did over this last year. I noticed a reoccurring theme in the comments, and that was, why did I choose the 7 SAUM over the 7mm Rem Mag? I have quite a bit of experience with the 7mm Rem Mag. As a matter of fact, I just helped my father-in-law put together a 7 Rem Mag, and he asked me the exact same question, why did I go with the 7 SAUM? So I figured because I've had that same reoccurring question so many times, I'd go ahead and make a video on it. As well as this will open us up to being able to compare and contrast the pros and cons of a lot of other cartridges that I have experience with. There's a lot of cartridges that I have quite a bit of experience with that you guys don't see me shoot on a regular basis, and if there are any of those cartridges that you guys would like to see compared to other similar cartridges, please leave that down in the comments and we can do a video on that as well. So we'll start off with the 7 SAUM versus the 7 Rem Mag. So velocities. So now this is a generic load that we're talking about here, but both these cartridges produce a very similar velocity. So the 7 SAUM, now like I said, we're going to go with like a generic load, pretty much based on case capacity. But if you were to load, say, 180 grain class bullet in both cartridges to max safe pressures through, say, a 28-inch barrel like this one, you're going to get around the same velocity. Around 2,950 feet per second with that 180 grain class bullet. The difference where they differ is the amount of powder it takes to produce that velocity. The 7 SAUM is going to take around 60 grains of powder to get to that 2,950 feet per second, whereas the 7 Rem Mag, you're looking at 71 to 72 grains of powder, so almost 12 grains of powder more to get to that same velocity. So therefore, the 7 SAUM is a much more efficient cartridge in creating its charge. Because the 7 SAUM is much more efficient, it gets a longer barrel life. You guys remember back to the video we did comparing predicting barrel life by cartridge, we talked a lot about a cartridge being overbore. And what is overbore? Overbore is how much powder, or a certain amount of powder, going through a certain diameter hole. So in comparison to these two cartridges, the 7 SAUM, you're putting 60 grains of powder through a .284 inch diameter hole, whereas the 7 Rem Mag, you're putting 71 or 72 grains of powder through that same .2 inch 84 diameter hole. Because of that, the 7 Rem Mag is a much more overbore cartridge. And overbore is a big predictor of barrel life. Now, overbore obviously is the only predictor of barrel life, like we talked about in that video. The 7 Rem Mag and the 7 SAUM, or the predictor of another predictor of barrel life is the shoulder angle. Both the 7 SAUM and the 7 Rem Mag have a very similar shoulder angle, so you're not looking at a big difference there. So the amount that the 7 Rem Mag is overbore definitely depletes the barrel life. Now, when we talk about what these barrel life numbers are, first off, let's say we're talking about match grade accuracy. The highest grade of accuracy you can get out of a brand new match barrel. So if you were to take the same match barrel on a 7 Rem Mag, you're looking at, with that higher end charge, now just like in any barrel, like I said, this is kind of a generic amount of barrel life, because barrel life is very dependent on how you shoot the rifle as well. How fast you shoot the rifle, how hot you get it, all those things can go into your barrel life, but we're giving a generic barrel life here. So you're looking at between 1,400 and 1,600 rounds through a 7 Rem Mag worth of match grade accuracy, whereas the 7 SAUM, you're looking at between 2,000 and 2,200 rounds of the same match grade accuracy. So because the cartridge is more efficient, it gets a significant amount of longer barrel life. So, and I also want to say, I'm not just going to beat up on the 7 Rem Mag here. I'm a big fan of the 7 Rem Mag. I have quite a bit of experience shooting the 7 Rem Mag, and the 7 Rem Mag has a lot of pluses that the 7 SAUM doesn't have. We're going to get into those as well. So, reloading. Reloading, because the 7 SAUM is more efficient cartridge, it takes a smaller amount of powder to get to the same velocity, so you're going to get more out of your components if you're reloading for the 7 SAUM. Where the 7 SAUM has a big downfall in reloading is brass availability. If anybody's ever reloaded for the 7 SAUM will tell you that you're going to spend a pretty penny to buy good brass for the 7 SAUM. Whereas the 7 Rem Mag, there are so many different companies who make 7 Rem Mag loads that there's a significant amount of good brass available for the 7 Rem Mag at a much lower cost. So the 7 Rem Mag definitely has an advantage in brass availability. Where it does, one of the downfalls though of the 7 Rem Mag brass is the way these cartridges headspace. The 7 SAUM headspaces off of the shoulder of the cartridge, whereas the 7 Rem Mag headspaces off of the belt of the Magnum, or the belt of the cartridge, because it is a belted Magnum. I am not a big fan of headspacing off of a belted Magnum. I've reloaded 300 Win Mag quite a bit, and in my experience with reloading with belted Magnums, the belt of the Magnum is the spot where the cartridge actually headspaces off of. The spot right before the belt, because once you have shot that cartridge 3 or 4 times, once you run it through a full-length sizing die, typically the full-length sizing die doesn't actually go down all the way and touch the belt. Now you can buy special dies for just that purpose, but you're going to spend extra money to do it. But because it does not go down all the way and touch the belt, you typically start to get a little bit of a bow right before that belt of the case, and that can actually cause some inconsistencies in your head spacing. So head spacing off of the shoulder of the cartridge is a much more efficient way to head space a cartridge. So that is another downfall of the 7 Rem Mag, it being just a belted Magnum. Because it is a belted Magnum, it can only be loaded into a long action. Now this is my 7 SAUM, and it is actually a Tikka long action. Now Tikka, I know you can get into the discussion of Tikka only has one size of action, but they actually do have some differences between the long and short action, even though it is the exact same size of action. So this is a long action Tikka, and why did I go put a short action Ultra Mag into a long action? When the short action Ultra Mag was first introduced, they didn't have the same 180 class and above bullets that they have nowadays. Because they didn't have those same high BC bullets, you had no problem mag feeding a 7 SAUM with a 170 class and lower bullet in a short action. But if you want to feed a 180 class and above bullet in a 7 SAUM, you pretty much have to step up to the long action. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to do the 7 SAUM in the long action. But it does have the ability to be chambered in short or long action. Like we talked about, brass availability for the 7 Rem Mag. The 7 Rem Mag has a significant amount more, you can find a significant amount of other or different factory match ammo for the 7 Rem Mag, whereas the 7 SAUM, as far as I'm aware, there are only two different manufacturers who make 7 SAUM loads, factory loads, and both of those are extremely expensive. You're talking $2.50 to $3 a shot, whereas the 7 Rem Mag is a significant amount less than that for high-end match ammo. So the 7 Rem Mag definitely wins out in factory ammo availability. Pretty much, if you're going to shoot a 7 SAUM, the only cost-effective way to shoot match ammo in a 7 SAUM is to reload. So if you're not a reloader, 7 Rem Mag is without a doubt the way to go. Because just like factory match ammo, your factory rifles themselves, as far as I'm aware, there are not any factory rifles from your, I'm not talking about boutique manufacturers, but your regular rifle or firearms manufacturers who produce rifles. I can't think of any who produce a factory off-the-shelf rifle chambered in 7 SAUM, whereas I can't think of any firearms manufacturers who produce rifles that don't make rifles chambered in 7mm Rem Mag. So being able to go right into a gun store or a sporting goods store and pick up a 7 Rem Mag off the shelf is something you can do, whereas you can't do that with the 7 SAUM. Recoil. The last bit of this we're talking about is recoil. The 7 SAUM has a significant amount less recoil because it is a more efficient cartridge. The recoil is significantly less. The 7 SAUM is a cartridge that my small frame wife can get behind and have no issues controlling the recoil, whereas the 7 Rem Mag is, being a belted Magnum, having a significant amount more charge. That extra charge adds to the recoil of the 7 Rem Mag, and the 7 Rem Mag has a significant amount more recoil, and that is recoil that my small frame wife has an issue trying to control. So there are a handful of places where the 7 Rem Mag does beat out the 7 SAUM, but for the most part, I find that the 7 SAUM, being a more efficient cartridge, has more pluses than the minuses that you get from the 7 Rem Mag. So that's why I chose the 7 SAUM. Like I said, if there's any other cartridge you guys would like to see compared, please feel free to leave those down in the comments. I would love to compare some more cartridges. Like I said, there's a lot of the cartridges I have experience with, so I hope if you guys are looking at the 7 SAUM or the 7 Rem Mag, maybe this helps you guys make your choice. So I hope you guys enjoy this. See you guys next time. I'm out.